Hello everyone. Thank you for joining week 9 lecture. Today I'm going to give you guys virtual museum tour which required for our class. I mean, it's not a mandatory, but since I work in a museum as an art director, it's really important to show you guys around our museum where I work and what I do for exhibition in the museum. So I hope you guys enjoy and see what aspect of museum work or museum design, exhibition design, environmental graphic design, spatial experience design in general. It's a very broad category of job and work, but I can probably introduce you what those are. So before we talk about the next assignment and the contents for the project, I want to give you guys the museum tour first, and then we can move on to those topics. Hopefully I can make this very short since I keep recording the video very long time, and it's probably not the best idea for both of us. I try to make it very short, and it's not an easy job for me. Anyway, actually I want to mention the one thing that thank you for submitting your assignment. It's actually really exciting that we finish the first project, and now we move on to the second project, which is festival design. You might think that it seems pretty broad, and the topic is somewhat we never actually thought about and imagined before. But start with the what you liked, what you're most interested first, and then we can go deeper and deeper and moving along. Okay, I work at the New York Historical Society. It's been about 16 years since I started as an intern, which is the summertime, right after the graduate at FIT, and I took the step by step until the current position. My background of my education and career while I was living in Korea was the graphic design, and worked at the fashion collection agency and art center, which located in Seoul. And I also helped the academic curriculum for the design program, and designed the material for the academy. It's actually the sub branch of the category under the design museum in Seoul Art Center. So my background is pretty much the designer and artist working for the nonprofit organization. You're looking at my works that I've done for the past exhibitions in the New York Historical Society. We are doing many kinds of exhibitions, including the history or art or civil issues, mostly history exhibitions, because as many of you know that New York City has amazing popular museums, including Met, MoMA, Whitney, Guggenheim. So we try to be differentiated and being a unique and special museum among the other museums in the New York City. So we are pushing our boundary of the making amazing history shows. As you see from my thumbnail graphics that I did for the exhibitions, most of history shows related to the New York City and American history. So this is the front view of the museum, which located in the Central Park West 77th Street. It's been 200 years since they built this museum building. The founder of this, the organization dug the ground when it was 1902 at the site, original site, not the original site actually, the located in the Midtown area, and they built the organization building. This is our current museum, the biggest gallery in the building. The gallery named Dexter Hall. It was used as the variety of the collections, displaying objects and paintings. As you see, it's sort of mixed in with the different kinds of works. You see from this screen, this is a mummified bull. We had to transfer this sort of natural history style of object to the Brooklyn Museum in 1937 because we try to make our space for more coming collections, mostly paintings and different objects and not the natural history related objects. We're still using this gallery as our main art gallery in the building, so we're still keeping the bone structure of what you see from this screen. The floor, as you see, the tile pattern, the floor is still existing, and some of them are, I feel, it's a little bit worn out. I mean, not a little bit, it's a lot been worn out, but we try to maintain our original, conserve our original, the structure of the building as much as possible. So we have variety of programs, including the reenactors educational program in the city, because this is somehow very unique program which could differentiate from other history museums. We started this program probably like 15 years ago when I just started. It came from one of our senior staff members' idea when the senior staff visited the different location of the historical site, and of course their costumed reenactors providing the reenacting the performances to the visitors to engage to the story better. So this has been very successful, and we get many crowd per every event. And we have a Lincoln statue in the front of our entrance, and the Frederick Douglass is located in our rear door. So this museum is the oldest museum in New York City. Probably it's older than Metropolitan Museum, but not older than Natural History Museum, our neighboring museum. This was the very special gallery. You see those green and red colored striped object case view is the older version of our permanent collection gallery. The gallery funded by the Henry Luce Foundation, which is another non-profit organization who have the variety of collections. They funded us to have this storage style of gallery. So this gallery has two functions: to store and to display. At that time, it was very successful. The visitors come into the museum and they could always see this storage, the facility through the glass of these cases, and they could see also our staff members and conservators or art handlers moving along, and doing the variety of our conservation works behind the glass. It was successful at the time, but we wanted to make our institutions much better, improved, and more modernized the space. So we had to renovate our fourth floor gallery, which you see the top image here and the bottom image here. This is a new face, and the older face is the this colored one. So this view, you see we have all these kinds of different collections themed by different object or stories, and turn into this another other side of the case gallery. And the Tiffany lamps are our the signature collection in our museum. We had this older style of storage gallery, and now renovated to this new vase with the amazing glass staircase. It actually reminds everybody of the Apple Store staircase. If anyone interested in those collections of New York Historical Society, you can check the e-museum collections. We have Audubon's watercolors for the Birds of America collections, and Tiffany glass and lamps, mostly, not the Tiffany jewelries. That's another our biggest collection. Hudson River School paintings and other New York City related historical artifacts. You can search and find the details. As I mentioned, the Audubon's watercolors collections are our another big collection in our museum. So John James Audubon is the French painter, and who normally paints those birds of all different kinds of birds. While he was the hunter, he actually hunted these birds, and I will show you how he drew the bird postures for his paintings. There is some debate about him. He was the owner of the slaves, or he actually not a good person, or he also killed so many birds for his paintings. But his works are very great, and as many of you will probably seen these paintings from antique market, or even like your grandma's like kitchen war. It's one of the amazing the birds paintings in America. This is my the information graphic view of the bird positioning board, that he started with the different, his initial ideas of the birds here, and then he used this wooden, almost like a cutting board with the grid, and painted the dead bird with the making the bird as the position he wanted, and he drew from the board positioning board, and complete this painting. So that's the process of his painting, and many of viewers curious how he made all different kinds of birds positions. This is how he made, by using the dead birds. Another collection we have in our museum is the Tiffany lamps. So Clara Driscoll is one of the female artists in the past. She is one of the designer or lead designer from the Tiffany studio. As a female artist, and she also as a leader of the design studio, they are almost a pioneer of the female design world in New York City. So it's there are many value and meaningful story behind this collection. You can see many the Tiffany lamps design in the fourth floor in the building. It's about like 132 Tiffany lamps, and I think the New York Historical Society has the most biggest collection of Tiffany lamps in at least the world. Hudson River School painting is the one of the you know popular and renowned the category of the American art. Hudson River School means that the artists who gathered around the Hudson River area, which is like east coast of the United States, they are somehow trained by the artist who also designed, painted this style of the landscape art, and they develop their own style of the paintings by using the landscape of Hudson River area. We also have the biggest collection in the world, and the one of the famous artist name is the Asher Drent. Like we own the biggest collection of Asher B. Drent. So some of you may curious, what types of exhibition do we present in the Historical Society? So number one will be the original exhibitions, which I shown you those three collections before. So we have since we have the biggest collection of those three collections, and we annually or semi-annually we curate and design the exhibition from those collections. And number two, art exhibitions, mostly the collection based, as I mentioned. And history exhibitions, another our strongest, the exhibition we develop yearly. One of the show I just finished named Acts of Faith is the history of the American immigrants' religion history. Of course, same time we talk about the Western expansion, as many of you learned that from the history class. As you know, the following the immigrants' journey in America has expanded to the west side from the east coast. East coast is the hub of the immigrant when they arrived from overseas. Multi-venue exhibitions originated by another institution, which was some of you might remember. One of the show we've done in that style was the Jewish Daily exhibition. It was very successful. It came from different museum, of course, but we had to make it work and fit into our exhibition space. Another exhibition I've done, Harry Potter exhibition, and Bill Graham. You may not know his name, but he's the American folk song writer, and it's another sort of music history exhibition. And exhibitions curated for our museum, but worked with the institution curators or scholars. So we collaborate with other institutions at the same time. They're scholars and curators. There are many the examples, but Lincoln and Juice and R. Hirschfield, which is the American illustrator exhibition, Mo Willems, and there are many other exhibitions. So, New York Historical Society catchphrase is "History Matters." Yeah, history matters. As you will see from the example, what we've done for the history shows, and we are strongly pushing our boundary and um, educate the the citizens of United States and New York City for our American history and New York City's history. One of the work that I did might catch your eyes might be the tattooed, the history of the tattoo. It's mostly the the tattoo, the art located in the New York City. So as you see, the tattoo's history is very old. I mean, that the time when it started as a minor culture, people didn't have many good positive feeling about the tattoo. There are certain people of the categories actually had tattoos. So I'm not gonna go into deeper about the history of tattoo, but as you see, we researched it and we had a collaboration of the content with the tattoo artist in the New York City and other different country as well. And we visited and we used the historical photos from the late 1900 or all this older time of tattoo salons. Even we had the tattoo performing stage here in the center of the gallery. We also live streamed by YouTube. I also worked on the Vietnam War. It's a very complex topic because we're not only just telling the story of the Vietnam War, we're also telling the story of what happened during America. As many of you already experiencing that time or a similar experience nowadays, the Israel and Hamas war also, happening in the outside of America, but now we're still experiencing at the same time because people have a different ideas and concepts and opinions that they're demonstrating on the street, and they're really impacted on our everyday life too. So as you see, we had many cultural the documents and stories, related stories. Not only American is involved in this Vietnam War, and European countries also involved. That's what happened nowadays, and that the information graphic war with the story and his supporting the photos from the time. And this is the props actually imported from Vietnam originally. The Vietnam military sent the military sources by bicycle over the night. So we display this object for supporting the story. And this is the exhibition educational text banners that I designed. It's not easy per se to design the graphics for the war-related stories, because you don't want to make it sound like fancy or great or trendy, but same time it has to be very legible. At the same time, it doesn't look boring. So it requires a lot of researches and experiment and mock-ups, which is prototyping. So I came down to this typeface. It's actually came from the sort of silk screen and a little bit of a rigid typeface that used in the late 1900 that represent the idea of materialism, or some of the weapons have a very rigid, the straight lines, something like that. And this has a little pixelate. I'm sorry about that. We hired the illustrator, animation artist to work on the large murals, including the the story of Homefront and Warfront. I keep referring the what's happening nowadays because Vietnam War that time weren't even born yet, so you may not feel or you may not understand what was happening that time. But I'm, referencing the what's happening with the Israel and Hamas war. So even though the war is happening outside of U.S. in New York, and but we are getting impact from the war, every day. So this war illustration war mural shows the in the home front is the our U.S. front, and what people uh, the regular American citizens, how they are life impacted by the war, the school system, and politicians or demonstrations like nowadays, and hospitals, and what kind of effort they're putting, and what kind of activities they done to support or against the war. This is my work. I made a photo collage style of the timeline graphic. This tells the what happened in America during the Vietnam War. Of course, in the Vietnam, the war was happening, but a lot of demonstrations, and people have a different isms and opinions, sort of supporting not supporting each other's idea, like try to speak up their own ideas. And of course, politicians who support the war or who doesn't support the war. And of course, same time the president campaign was happening, same time it was a sort of chaos time. So I try to show that sort of chaos moment at the time of the war happening. As you see, this sort of shows the what's happening, and sort of multi colored and different shapes of the silhouettes of people. And Hotbed exhibition is another exhibition I finished 2018. Feels like a long time ago, but not too long ago. This is the another history shows the women artists at the time. They're also culturally very they have a different ideas about the women rights. So I'm not gonna go deeper about the woman rights now, but as you see, this woman actually paints the entrance of the gallery. I mean, I used this photo from the time period, and I had the title of the exhibition designed. Hotbed is, as you notice, the meaning from the title is something start to bloom or coming out like a popcorn or flower. That time, female women's right wasn't considered very treated or considered and treated very well the time, and they try to improve the female rights, and they try to get the vote rights from the government and all that. So that hotbed means the start moving for pushing for their women's right. This is the inside design of the gallery. One of the infographic I designed, you see from the top left. This is the graph, like in visual infographic of the people, the women activists at the time. There are three different the group of people, they're having different ideas, and then somewhat have a same ideas, but somewhat, they have totally different ideas. So it shows, graphically shows the who support the idea or who doesn't like the idea, but at the same time, it was chaos. As you see, those in the middle, only two people have a completely in the same line of their you know thoughts and ideas. And as you see, the texture of this graphic is also used from the time period, and it could have been the war pattern of one of their artist studio. So everything came from that. Try to use the resources from that time period. So making an exhibition requires a lot of researches. I had to check a lot of photos and this graphic style from that time period, and also there are some published books and brochures who these women activists publish it, and that's somehow made this graphic style for the exhibition. This is another war exhibition I did long time ago. It's about like 10 years ago. World War II and New York City. This is also another war exhibition that America was hugely involved. But as you see, this is somehow I thought might be helpful for you guys to develop your interactive, the fixture and interactive piece for the visitors. These are the neon sign, tells the New York City's landmarks, and this casework, including the original object and the document from the time period. Of course, the Statue of Liberty is here, and interactive, the touch screens also display at the same time. This multifunctional, the display were. Another sort of the multifunctional display wall I designed was this war of opinions. Well, many people, anti, Islamic or anti-Israel, and all these people living in New York City, all different kind of people. It's a melting pot. At the time, it's the same. All different kind of people, whether you are not involved in the war, you have opinion about from your own group or community or your culture. So these are all different, group of people have different ideas about the World War II war. So I try to show different, group of people and then what they support or not support or against. This is we call the war of opinion, and this has including the information about each group and the material from those each group of people. We call this, actually, I try to say this, peekaboo case, because of the nature of the museum object, it's very sensitive to the light, especially the fabric or paper objects are very sensitive to light. So we try to hide that sensitive object from the light, and same time people could have totally like a separate spatial experience while they're reading in certain groups the stories. So try to divide this booth as separate as possible, and have this object in the avoid from the light. So these are sort of a three-dimensional work case I designed. And as you see, this is another work case I designed, having all this information with the multimedia, which is iPad, and object same time. It's a multifunctional case. So including all these different, the sources are very crucial for visitors' experience, is people get to see and read and hear that almost like they're experiencing that the stories, instead of just reading, instead of just looking, instead of just hearing or listening. It's a multifunctional experience, supporting war, which was very successful. And this is the original drawing of the that case you just saw. This is the drawing phase. As you see, all the dimensions there, and this numbering system tells the what are those objects are. It requires a lot of work. Okay, I'm going to go very fast from now. I'm not going to go deeper explaining. Another history exhibition I did for the Chinese immigrant history. And this is exhibition, one of those text war, tells the 6 early migrants from China. This is the full detention area we designed for the exhibition. And another museum object, which is also props. It's not original object, which including the iPad touchscreen. And Women March. March is also another the woman, related woman rights related exhibition I did. And as you see, this woman holding this section, each section text, the title with the collage style of this other woman from that same time period. This is my title design for the exhibition. I love collage, as you notice. This exhibition including multimedia like projection screen and object and graphic. It seems very busy. I totally know that because I worked on it and designed it, but I couldn't come up with the better solution while collaborating with the historians. They love to include all kinds of stories. They don't want to, limit, or they don't want to cut their story. That's what had happened. And this is not current, but during pandemic we had a outdoor exhibition while our space was limited to the public. The photographer located in New York City, they took the photo when the coronavirus was spreading too harsh, and they took the photo of the people, the New Yorkers' life at just 3 days probably. And one day they went to Bronx, another day they went to Manhattan. So they took the photos of the New Yorkers in the 5 borough, and we heard those New Yorkers' story and what's their personal experience with the coronavirus and COVID pandemic. Children's show is always exciting. I get to design their reading nook and big signage with the character. So get to see their happy, joyful face. Right after pandemic, I designed this art of Vinod Rice, who is the immigrant artist from Germany. He developed his own style of the art, as you see, very vivid colors with the line art, and he was actually painter, but he had to design all these graphics for a living. We got to visit his descendant, his daughter-in-law actually survived alive. He of course passed, and his son also passed, but his daughter-in-law is still alive and living in the upstate New York, and this is a sort of secret area, and we had to see his collection, vast collection. Luckily, he didn't sell many of his works. So we could borrow the works from this foundation, Winner Rice Foundation, and I mean, we got treated very well. As you see, we got the breakfast the daughter-in-law made, and we got to see his the secret storage room full of his works. He's an amazing artist. His actually the family picture here. So I started with the museum tour and ended with my works. Hope you guys enjoyed, and if anybody interested in this museum world career, or you have any questions regarding what I do, feel free to leave your the message to the Brightspace or email me. I'll try explain my best. To the project. As we developed our research and inquiry for festival, sponsors, locations, we're going to move our step to the art direction part. You see those materials right under this project too. Those are just the material for entire project, and move to the week 8-9. It's gonna be specific steps. And as you see the lectures here the last week, and festival research and strategy we've done, and moving on to the festival art direction, we're going to create the structure, the bone structure of the festival. Art direction requires for many aspects of work. The thinking about the entire overall atmosphere and mood and concept and style, color palette and all that, and which is very exciting. That requires the you understand the festival's theme and purpose, and of course the concept should be developed, not only just brainstorming, and you have to put it down to your note and sketchboard and start draw. Mood board coming from your inspiration or your own drawing. You can make a mood board out of the color palette and typeface settings and the graphic style. You can make some samples. Establish a design language. We're the designer for this festival, and our language is the tool that shows the visuals of the festival. So defining the consistent design language is crucial, especially with the typography and color palette and logo design and other visual elements such as the materials of the certain booth and fixtures, or even like merchandises. It would be used throughout the festivals. It would be also used for your marketings of the festival. Designing festival materials requires work with your creative team, which you'll be tied to two people group after your research, and you guys will brainstorm and talk. What kind of direction you guys need to be moved on, things like that. Consider the festival environment. Whatever you've set your location for your festival, it should also include the landscapes, or it should also involve in the culture, the distinctive culture from that environment. Especially like when you have that festival in the Central Park, which is located in New York City, it should include the New York City style and atmospheres, things like that. If you are setting this as a overseas, then of course it will include the country's cultural style or the location style. Document design process, you would have those research and inquiry first, and concept mood board and sketches as you've done for your the project one, it's gonna be similar, but it should be more developed version, because you already worked on the project one and you should have the improved skill set. Assignment for the next week will be the storyboard, including main concept and ideas, types of festival, location, signature public space, which I mentioned before, the interactive experience, the booth design, ticket booth, entrance, facade, and gate design, or public like a VIP lounge, or visitors, the cafeteria lounge. Anything is possible if it's related to public, the visitor's spatial experience. Incorporate design brief will be written or and hand drawing. You could do this from your iPad by using your Illustrator or a different tool, that's fine. And complete the design brief and analysis. So if you click this link here and see this sample design brief for a different project, but this is also like festival, you will see the design brief include those sections you can reference for your design, writing the design brief. So what are those festivals you are designing, and why do we have these festivals, and the goal of festivals, such as promoting the certain culture or life or hobbies. The goals should be written, and unique selling point, which will the differentiate from other festivals. And tone of voice might be very helpful for you to make a structure of style guideline for your festivals. If you are designing the hip-hop music festival, you can include this energetic, vibrant, and vivid, or any sort of the vocabulary, and you can write down those words, and that will be very helpful for you to make the style of your festival. See those audience and what they care about, and their important the units and the part of the festivals, competitors, deliverables, and including logo, visual branding, mood board, and all that, and prints, digital marketing materials, including the not only the advertisement, also the merchandises. This might be very helpful for you to write those design brief. So that's on the assignment for next week. Sorry, I have to see from your point of view. Anyway, click this and you will see this from now. I made it visible. Your final presentation for the project 1 will be reviewed virtually. I will actually record the video of all the reviews next week. So stay tuned. I'm sure some of you got my comments about your final, the video montage and photo montage. Hope you can have a time for revising those. And once you submit your final presentation, which including the design slide and video presentation recorded, that's very important. If you don't submit the video version of your presentation, you may not get the score. It might take a while. If it's okay, it shouldn't be perfect as a first try. Try to submit on time to get the proper grade. Hope you guys enjoyed my lecture, and I will talk to you soon.